Okay. Assalamu alaikum. Good evening to everybody. Today, BD Students Leadership Building Session number 11. And today, moderator is Abdullah Tahfim, grade 11 from Sharjah. So, I just want to tell some rules for the session. That today, two topic is around 45 minutes. It will be 25 and 20 minutes or 20 minutes, 25 minutes, the total 45 minutes. After that question and answer session, it will be 15 minutes. During this 1 hour, it will be run by moderator Abdullah Tahfim. And during this period, it will be entirely controlled by moderator Abdullah Tahfim. We are parents, will listen, will not interfere. And if any issue, we'll share in the group chat. Okay, now I'll invite Engineer Khajabai just deliver one short speech, and then Engineer Rafiq Bhai for short speech, and then we'll start. And Abdullah Tahfim, you can start as a moderator after the speech. Thank you.
Well, welcome to everybody for this another great session. Moderator is another wonderful winner of the last competition. So that is another attraction for this session. Enjoying sitting back and then trying to enjoy what you are all trying to come forward with. Just only one thing, that is the time management. Just keep watch on your and remind everyone to finish on time. And then wish everyone best of luck. Cheers.
Okay, Rafiq Bhai, you can deliver the short speech, and then Abdullah Tahfim. Abdullah Tahfim, are you here?
Yes, I am.
Okay, Rafiq Bhai, you can deliver.
Okay. Good evening and welcome to all to this vibrant session. I hope today's session will be more enjoyable than previous one. And day by day, actually, these sessions are becoming more attractive. Actually, everybody present, we are enjoying. Today topics actually very good topics you have selected. How to form, organize, and lead a team to achieve a certain goal successfully, and importance of open mindedness for effective communication and discussion. Actually, really, I would appreciate the organizer to select very useful topics. Actually, to be a successful leadership, to lead a team and to achieve certain goals successfully, it is very important. Okay, as because a leader should know his team, and leader should know the ability of his team members. Suppose you are the football match, leader should know, captain should know, and coach should know his players' ability, who can play, who is position, right? Actually, the right person. Am I audible?
Yes, Rafiq Bhai.
Can you hear me?
Rafiq Bhai, we can hear, but make it short, and we can start with the students. And
okay.
At the last,
So just okay with the few words. Just what I was explaining about the football team. Okay, so this is the good example for the leading team and to achieve the goal. Okay, hopefully we are going to enjoy this night session, and finally. Best wishes to all the participants and the moderator. Okay, good luck. All the best.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, as declared before, that there is a two category. Grade 7 and below will select the best speaker, and the second category is grade 8 and above. There is will select another best speaker. So two best speaker will be selected, and will issue the certificate. And there is a panel of judges. Engineer Muazzam Bhai, Engineer Rafiq Bhai and Engineer Khaja Bhai will be in the panel of judges, and they will declare who is the best speakers. Engineer Majama, you are requested to deliver very short speech, and then Abdullah Tahfim can run the session.
Thank you, everyone. I think no need any speech today because already time is over. So we just appreciate and wishing all the best for the all the students and then the leadership, and we try to continuous support to them to encourage them to be a good leader in future. That's enough. Thank you very much. You can go ahead for this presentation.
Okay, Abdullah Tahfim, you can start now, and good luck. And just to get the introduction from each students, which grade, which area, which school, and year. Then we'll know which grade. Okay, and good luck. Start.
All right. First of all, I would like Assalamu alaikum to everyone, to every of my friends, to every of the students, and to every of the parents and the seniors. So I would like the session to be started with a quote from Chris Hadfield. He was the former astronaut and the commander of the International Space Station. He said, ultimately, leadership is not about glorious crowning acts. It is about keeping your team focused on a goal and motivated to do their best to achieve it, especially when the stakes are high and the consequences really matter. So with this, I would like to start this session, and may the students please introduce themselves, their name, which area they're from, and their school and their grade. We'll start with Rapunzel Arin.
Okay, thank you. So my name is Rapunzel Arinyana. I'm in grade 5 and I live in Alain Al Muqam. Thank you.
Thank you to Miss Rapunzel Arin. Would Mr. Sinan Fatin like to introduce himself?
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, everyone. My name is Sinan. I am in grade 10. I live in Al Ain and I study in the International School of Shaifat.
Thank you, Mr. Sinan Fatin. Miss Mona Lisa Mubarak, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Okay, hi, sorry. My name is my name is Saria bint Shamul. I live in Sharjah, UAE. I'm from Bangladesh and I study in grade 6. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Aria. Now, Mr. Radia Khan, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Radia Mubashir Khan Afsa. I'm in grade 7. I'm from Abu Dhabi and my school is Islamic English School, Abu Dhabi. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Thank you, Miss Radia Khan. Mr. Abdullah Tahfim, would you like to introduce yourself from the next room, please?
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. I am Abdullah Tahfim. I'm from Bangladesh. I live in Sharjah and I study in De Montfort University, Dubai, mechanical engineering first year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Abdullah Tahfim. Mr. Ragib, please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Ragib, and I'm a grade 12 student studying in the International School of Shoifat, located in Alain. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ragib. Mr. Rayhan Ahmed, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Hello, my name is Rayhan Ahmed. I'm currently studying in grade 12 at Alain Juniors Private School in Alain.
Muhammad Burhanul Islam, I see that you have raised your hand. Would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Yes. Assalamu alaikum. This is MD Burhanul Islam Riday. I am from Bangladesh and I am a student of Dhaka University of Engineering and Technology, Duet, Gazipur. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Burhanul Islam. And anybody else who would like to introduce themselves before the meeting is proceeded with?
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Tahmid Ahmed and I'm from Bangladesh. I study in grade 9 at Islamic English School, Abu Dhabi.
Thank you, Mr. Tahmid Ahmed. Anybody else left with? All right, so we'll start with the topic. So the first topic, as we can already see, it is how can a leader, how to form, organize, and lead a team to achieve a certain goal successfully. Now, whether you are a leader in whatever field you are, whether or not, how can a leader do it? How to lead a team to achieve a goal, and whatever that goal may be, it may be sports, it may be academics, it may be a project, whatever it is, how to certainly achieve that goal and manage that team. So that is my question. And would you like to share your views, starting with Muhammad Burhanul Islam? Yeah, I see that you have raised your hand.
Engineer Burhan, this is only for students. Huh? And Abdullah Tahfim, you can invite the students. So.
Oh, sorry. I'm very sorry. I don't know. Okay, thank you.
All right. Moving on. Miss Rapunzel Areen, how can a leader lead a team to achieve a certain goal? What do you think? What are your views based on it?
Okay, so first, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so first things first, to build a team, you need to define the purpose and then assemble the team. And then tell them the goals you want to achieve and set expectations. After that, you can just help them do it and they could help you do it. That's all I want to say. Mic is muted, sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Thank you, Ms. Rapunzel Areen, for your points. They definitely make sense and should be taken into consideration. Mr. Sinan Fatin, would you like to say something based on this?
This topic, I would make an example about a business. A business, it cannot start. A business cannot start without an entrepreneur. The entrepreneur is basically the leader or owner of the company, and a business has to be completely organized by that one entrepreneur and try to drive the company to become rich. To build on this company, the entrepreneur has to spend money and invest on machines to make money, and he should also, or he or she should also, and assign each task for them. This organization and assigning tasks to different people can help build the company in a positive direction, and furthermore make profit. This business, it can, these workers, they have to work, and from their work they get paid. To encourage them, you either raise their income, etc., and that will make them work better and work more efficiently and actually be motivated to work for this business. And in addition to that, there is also many, possibly millions of other companies that are also trying to compete with your company. This is, if you're able to adapt and try to be the best company out of every other company that's competing with you, then this way you can win every other company. And it also teaches the entrepreneur on how to adapt to different situations. And there are also other roles that you can assign to your workers, like a manager that can basically watch over all of your workers, and this will continue the business and this will improve the business drastically. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Mr. Sinan Fatin, for your very applicable example and a very applicable point. So basically, what you said was that the entrepreneurs, the leader, he's behind everything, starting from the managing, motivating the team, and then keeping in mind the competitions, if I'm not wrong. So yeah. So am I right, Mr. Sinan Fatin?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for your points. Would you agree to that, Mr. Ragib? What do you think?
Yeah, I would definitely agree to that. And before I continue, I would like to take an example, sort of like a business, but like a more practical example that I think we students can relate with. So let's just say like you're a high achieving student in high school, and your plan is to start up some sort of initiative where you gather other high achieving students, and your goal is to teach or teach lessons, school lessons to people from all around the world. Okay, so in order to do this as a leader, you must first take the initiative and form a team. And how would you do that? You would obviously start by looking for other high achieving students and starting your own campaign and recruiting people who would be down to be in your sort of business, your high school business. And in order to do that, you must first make your goals very clear and apparent to them, because if you don't do that, then in the middle of your work, you might see that some of your employees or some of your fellow colleagues, they happen to just retire from their work because they didn't understand the goal in the first place, and many conflicts can occur. So in order to keep them working with you, you must first make your goal very clear. For example, you could say like, my goal is to teach students from all around the world the material that we take in school, and that your goal is to make money. And this would be a very good motivator for people in your class to come join you. And this is how you can formulate a team that is very motivated and they're highly dedicated to do what you're set out to do. And the next step is to organize the people. Once you have dedicated workers for you, dedicated students who are willing to teach and work for your idea, you could separate them into different departments or categories. And that's called a term that's used in business. I think it was like division of labor or something like that. So you could divide them into different classes, different divisions, and each division can specialize in a particular skill. For example, you could have like 3 divisions. The first division could be in charge of advertising, like social media campaigning. Second could be marketing, like making websites which sell the service, the teaching services. And the third department could be like the teachers who teach the students, basically, whether it be through online meetings or even physically if possible. So now you've organized your team members into different groups, and each group is focused on one particular thing. And this is very important, and this is highly effective in running a team. And there's also a thing going on between them. It's called interdependence, because each department is dependent on each other. And this requires a lot of trust between the teammates, because without trust, none of the 3 departments could function, because they're all dependent on each other. For example, the advertising team, their goal is to advertise through Instagram or other social media the idea that the leader, the leader, is trying to show to the world. So their job is to advertise, right? And the marketing department is dependent on the advertising department. Why? Because the marketing department, for example, they're working on the website which sells the service. If the advertising department does not do their job and does not attract customers, the website would not get any customers and it wouldn't sell anything. So they're completely dependent on the advertising department, and there's a trust between them, a mutual trust that keeps them going. Same thing can be applied to the teachers. If there are no people buying the service, then they're teaching nobody, basically. So they're dependent on the marketing. And the advertising department are basically dependent on the teachers, because if there are no teachers, what are the customers paying for? So each of them are dependent on each other, and this trust and this teamwork is going to help propel the initiative that you as a leader is trying to convey to the world. And lastly, in order to lead your team effectively towards the right path, you must get feedback from each department. You must know exactly what their strengths and weaknesses are, as was previously mentioned. You must know exactly what they're struggling at, if they're doing good or not, if they're doing their job. And that might be hard to do if you have a lot of team members. So what you can do is sign managers, separate managers for each department. And this could help, and those managers can come back to you and give you feedback on what's going on. And in this way, it will make you have a wide view of what's going on in the company or whatever you're initiating. And in order to achieve the goal that you set out to do initially, which is help students from all around the world do well in their studies, you can't just say, like, give a broad goal like we must make X amount of money in 1 year. That's too big of a target. You know, the people working for you, they might not be too inclined on that. I mean, it sounds pretty big, but like, how are they gonna achieve that? So you must break that small goal into smaller increments. For example, per day, instead of focusing on 1 year, you focus on what you're gonna do daily. Like, we teach X amount of hours daily. We teach X amount of hours weekly. And this keeps your team focused on what's right ahead of them, what's straight ahead of them, instead of what's like many, many, many months ahead, because that is way too far for them to think. And it's much easier to focus on what's close. And I think that is the best way to lead a team. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Mr. Raghib, for your detailed explanation. Not only did you touch on the topics of trust, teamwork, you also clearly used an example that started with about the high school students, the topper students, them teaching the other students. You not only showed us the topic, you also said how to open up a business in particular. So thank you for your detailed explanation. You talked about teamwork and all that. Mr. Abdullah Tahfim, what do you think about this topic? What are your views? Do you agree with the previous two, Mr. Sinan Fatin, Mr. Raghib, about teamwork, trust, how the formation, the organization, and the leading that business or leading that organization as a whole to a certain goal? What do you think, Mr. Abdullah Tahsin?
Yes, I agree with everything that is being said by Mr. Raghib, by Mr. Sinan Fatin, and also I'd like my own points, which is, in order to run a team successfully, we need two things. First of all, we need the leadership, which is the lead, and we also need the workers' cooperation. Now, if any one thing is missing from the two, we cannot uh, form a good result in the team. So, in order for the effort on the leader side, a leader should know how to lead the team. Now, that's where leadership qualities comes into play. Now, for a leader, there are various qualities. Like, first of all, the first and foremost quality which is needed for a leader, which I think, in my personal opinion, is the ability to handle a lot of stress. Because there are going to be times in your company or in your team that you're going to be facing many issues, right? So it is the duty of the leader to handle that much stress. And if your ability to handle stress is very much stronger, then I think that's what leads you to a successful result. And also, from the worker side, I think it is very important for the worker to listen to the leader, because obedience to the leader is the thing which keeps the smooth flowing of the teamwork. And also, I think, besides obedience of the workers, the the staff should also have their own independent thoughts, because sometimes in a teamwork, many a times a similar situation can happen, that a leader might say something which might seem obnoxious, or maybe which seem ineffective. At that time, the worker should have the courage to give their own opinions. So that's how management comes into play. So in order to manage a very complex team, you hire many managers, you hire different levels of secretaries, to make sure a smooth running flow of the teamwork. So yes, that's what I'm gonna say. So management, ability to handle a lot of stress, and also obedience from the worker side, and also the ability to think independently from the worker side is very important. So yes, thank you.
Thank you for your brief details about the points that relate to organization, formation, and leading of that team to a certain goal. You touched on the topics of independence of thoughts and not to be too harsh on the workers, and obedience from the workers' side, and how to manage that as a successful leader, not only a leader, but a successful leader. Mr. Rehan Ahmed, would you like to say something? Do you agree or disagree with the previous all the parties?
Yeah. Well, I actually think everything that's been said is excellent. All the points that have been made are actually very good, well-made points. So instead of making a long, detailed explanation, I'll just try to summarize what I was going to say for the sake of time, and since and not to make repetitive statements. So for a successful team, I believe like there are a few points, bullet points that we need to cross off. For like, first of all, the leader himself. The leader has to be charismatic. The leader has to have a high emotional IQ to be able to understand the situation, and to be able to, as they say, read the room. So they should be able to have a good understanding of the people in their team, what they're feeling, what they're thinking, what they need, in order to make the team run much smoother and to cater to the needs of the team members themselves. Then obviously, as I mentioned, the team members, the members who are added to the team, or recruited, you could say, they must be able to work well with each other. Obviously, that everything isn't up to the leader. So when you're choosing your team members, you should make sure that none of them have any prior conflicts, none of them hate each other, none of them have any issues, and their personalities and the type of people they are, they're open-minded, they get along, they understand and follow orders or whatever commands properly, and basically they work well together. So that way, if you're talking about parts in a machine, they will be able to work well together to execute the task at hand. Then obviously, on top of that, we need to have effective communication between the team members of the team. So, if as Sadab mentioned earlier, there's interdependence between members of the team. So one part of the team and the other part of the team, they have to communicate properly in order to actually properly work together and execute their task and what they're supposed to be doing. So then also, assigning the roles and responsibilities accordingly to each team member based on what they're capable of. So you can't just, you have to understand each member of your team properly, and then try to assign the responsibilities according to what they are capable of. And so that way, they will not be facing any issues, and the tasks that they're given are actually executed properly. So then also, obviously, just there should be trust among your team members, as I said earlier. Also to actually recognize and recognize what the team has achieved. I see in a lot of teams, in maybe you could say like big companies, what happens is when someone works hard and they work really hard on on what they're supposed to be doing, and they don't receive the proper recognition, they may feel demotivated, and they may think, okay, there's no use for me working this hard, since I don't gain any benefits. I'm not even recognized. They don't appreciate my work, you could say. So recognition and, or you could say rewarding the hard work of your team members is very important, along with adaptability. So, when certain situations arise, your team members should be able to adapt and change the way they work in order to meet those new circumstances, and basically not be restricted due to a new situation arising or a new circumstance arising. And obviously, so basically all of these factors together will lead to a proper organized team that will be able to perform any task that has been given, as long as the leader and the team members are able to work well together. And that's basically all I have to say.
Thank you, Mr. Rehan Ahmed, for summarizing of what brief explanation you're going to say, keeping the time in mind as well, and touching on the topics of well-being of the workers and and the effective communication that will keep the smooth functioning of that organization as a whole. Now, Miss Saria, would you like to say something based on this? And
Yes.
one more note, please. The ones who are talking, the participants, please keep your video on. There will be winners, and this might affect your marks. It might affect the decision on who's gonna win as well. So the ones who are talking, please keep your videos on.
Okay, so basically, I think if you want to form a team, like you can form a team. There's many reasons if you want to form a team. Like maybe you want to form it for a group project, for a business, etc. There's many different reasons. So if you're going to build a strong team, the first thing you should do is get people in your team who you know are going to do work. You should select people who you know won't just sit there and give all the work to one person. You should pick people who you know are going to do their work equally, and they're going to do the work they're given. Then you should make sure that everyone in the group feels respected when they're working, because people would want to join a team when they see the members enjoying their presence there. They're going to be like, oh, I want to join that team. It looks like they're being respected and having a good time. So you should make your members feel respected. Then you should communicate with your members a lot. And then when it comes to actually giving the roles, you should be defining everyone's roles and their responsibilities, so that whenever you're doing the work, not everyone is confused, like, oh, should I do this or should I do that? You should be defining their responsibilities. You should already be giving it to them before you start working. And you should be open to receiving feedback, to receiving criticism, especially if you're a leader. You should be okay with receiving criticism, because no one is perfect. So you should allow your members to give you criticism, and you shouldn't make them feel bad for giving you criticism. And finally, you should be celebrating their wins. When you see your team members doing a good job, you should be celebrating it. You should be praising them for it. And that's basically how to form a team successfully, and how to lead a team successfully, how to lead it to the winning point is, first of all, you should keep in your mind that you may make mistakes and not everyone wins, and that's okay. But if you want to win, then you should focus on leadership. If you are the leader, then you should focus on inspiring your members and being a role model for your team members. And number two, you should be explaining the rules to them. You can explain the rules about like generally, or you can explain, and you should also explain to them the rules about the topic, about what you're going to do. Then you should develop a plan, like what you're going to do. This is going to help you lead your team. And finally, if you're a leader, it's not like you're the leader, so you're not going to do any work. You should be doing the work as long as all the other team members, because some leaders, all they do is they give the work to their members and they just tell them what to do, and later they're the ones who get the recognition. Everyone in the group, including the leaders, should be doing the work and participating. And yeah, that's it.
Thank you for your beautiful points. Two things that caught my attention, that is uh, open to feedbacks, and not that the leader should just give work and not do work himself. Those are excellent points made by you. Thank you for your detailed explanation. And now, anybody else who did not raise their hand would like to speak on this topic? Your time is now. Anybody else? The ones who generally speak less, they're requested to make a change in this group and actually start speaking more. Anybody would like to speak? Mr. Tahmid Ahmed, would you like to say something?
Actually, this is my first class, so I'm actually not that prepared. So maybe next class I will do something.
All right, valid point. But then, yeah, one more thing is that you don't have to be prepared as well. Just say whatever you like, your views. That doesn't have to be preparation as well. But then it's up to you. So now we would like to move on to the next topic. That is being open-minded and open mindfulness while being in a discussion. Now, this is no, keep in mind that this is a really important key point, that is open-mindedness, because without being open-minded and without tolerance, there will be no discussion, there will be physical fighting. That is the thing. You have to understand, and you have to keep in mind that the other person can have different views from you. You have to tolerate that. You have to make why your point is better than the other person, and why your one should be taken into consideration, and how your one actually presides over his. So, and the open mindfulness being that if there is no tolerance, then there is war, and there is no technology, then if there is war, then there is no peace. And that means that there will be constant disruptions, there will be no civilization, there will be no communications. We as higher beings, human beings, we as the rulers of the earth, Mother Earth, we have to understand being open mindfulness that is greater than anything else that we get the qualities of. Otherwise, what makes us different from normal animals that we keep as pets, we keep in the zoos and everything? So I see that a lot of you have raised your hand. Doesn't matter whether you raise your hand or not, I'm going to ask everybody, starting with Mr. Rapunzel Areen. You're first again. Would you like to say something based on this one?
I would, thank you. So, open-mindedness is the key component of emotional intelligence, communication skills. So, like, if you have these, it can improve your relationship with, like, people, and it can also make your creativity higher. And open-mindedness can help you improve your relationship and problem-solving abilities. Like, example, the example you gave, like wars. So, like, if you have mindfulness and creativity and like, discussion or what, communicative, whatever. So then you can like talk to people and like say that we don't want wars. We can just make this in court or something. That's all I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you for your points. Miss Saria, would you like to say something again?
Yes. So basically, there is a lot of importance in open mindedness. For example, if you have an open mind, you're going to be less likely to engage in conflict. You're going to be less likely to fight. This is a very basic point. If you have an open mind and you listen to other people's opinions, then you will actually understand their point of view, and who knows, maybe you might even learn something from it. Also, a key to having open-mindedness is that if you want to have open-mindedness, you should first understand that everyone has different opinions, and everyone's opinions matter. All you have to do is listen to the opinions and understand their point of view so that you can understand why a person thinks like that. And maybe if you're open-minded, you can actually change your opinion somehow. Maybe you're going to think that, oh, they actually do have a good point about this topic. This is one thing. Then the second thing is that if you're going to be having open-mindedness as a team, then that's going to be helpful, and you can have effective communication and discussion. And when you have open-mindedness as a team, it can lead to more innovation, more collaboration, etc. Like if everyone, like for example, you're doing a group project, everyone's going to be having different ideas on how they should carry out the project. So and now I'm going back to my previous topic. If you are the leader of the team, like I said, you should listen to your team members. You should listen to your team members, and you should understand their ideas, how they want to do the project. And then as a group, everyone should discuss and then pick a way. And it doesn't have to be everyone discussing and then picking, oh no, this person is correct, we'll pick her opinion. No, I think it's better, well, like if you're discussing as a team, that everyone talks about their own opinion and their own point of view, and then everyone does something that is in relation to all of them. I think it will not make anyone feel left out. And this open-mindedness is very important in real life, but it's even more important in a professional work environment, because you're going to be talking with many members and stuff. So that's all I have to say.
Okay, I believe Abdullah Tahfim left, so we can wait for him. Raihan Ahmed, you can start now.
Okay, all right. So
Or Abdullah Tahsin, you can run until Tahfim join. Huh?
all right, okay. So as stated earlier by Mr. Rapunzel and Mr. Ria, their points are actually very well made. But I'd like to add on. To their points, what they said. So the benefits of being open-mindedness, and the importance of actually being open-minded were in discussions and in effective communication. So being open-minded means being accepting and tolerant of others' opinions, and basically not having a limited or restricted thinking. So when you're let's say in a team, when you're talking to other members in a team, and you're a very open-minded person, let's say you're able to basically have an intake of your team members' opinions, and and their thoughts and their ways, and their opinions and what they express. Okay, so basically this open-mindedness will help you develop a strong relationship built upon trust with your team members. So also with open-mindedness is very important, because in this day and age, the world is changing very fast. Now the world is changing very fast. So how does open-mindedness actually help you in this? I know I'm sure a lot of us have met people who have very old school way of thinking. They believe that instead of maybe going on a laptop and doing some research of your own and trying to find out information by yourself, referring to a textbook would be much better and more beneficial. Now, this could be seen as a non-open-minded way of thinking, because they simply aren't willing to understand the benefits, or they aren't willing to open up their views and opinions to the new technology we have at hand. And who knows, maybe in another 10 years we'll have even more outrageous devices and ways of actually accessing information which even we might not completely agree with. And then so open-mindedness also helps with problem solving, because now when you aren't open-minded, or when you have a restricted thought process, when you encounter a problem, you only stick to what you know. You don't try to experiment, you don't try to find new ways of obtaining a solution. And in some cases, this might actually restrict you into not being able to solve the problem at hand. But with an open-minded person, they're able to think, you could say, creatively and in new ways, in different ways to which they would normally. Now, this would not only help them solve the problem, this would maybe even help them find more effective and more efficient solutions for the issues they have or the problems they're encountering. Open-mindedness also helps, building, learning, and growth, because the more you take in, the more you'll be able to grow. The more information and opinions and different views and on life, on in general, in what you do in your daily life, the more you take in, the more you'll be able to understand how people think, how to basically be more social, be more approachable, be more, I guess you could say, accepting of people and how they are. And as I said before, about encouraging diverse perspectives, when you accept other people's opinions, and then also helping other people express their thoughts. And it basically, when you're open-minded, you allow people to basically, who sometimes wouldn't actually be they'd be very introverted and wouldn't like to speak. When an open-minded person approaches them or like talks with them, they feel more comfortable, you could say, because this person, they in their head they'd be like, okay, yeah, this person isn't very judgmental, is very open-minded, as you would say, and very non-critical of the way that someone thinks. So speaking with them becomes much easier for people who are usually shy or introverted. And basically, that's just a few points I'd like to talk about. When being open-minded, is it improves communication, it improves how you interact with other people, and basically how you solve your daily problems, and adapting to the changes in the current world. So that's all I had to say.
Hello, I have joined back. Thing is, I apologize for my network issues. Now, I missed a little bit part of Mr. Rehan Ahmed's speech, but what I could gather from what he said is how it improves communication and being open-minded and everything. Miss Saria as well. I got disconnected during your part of the speech, which was beautiful as well. Thanks to both of you. If I haven't missed anybody, could we continue with Mr. Ragib? What do you think? I see that you have raised your hand as usual.
Yeah, thank you. So I agree with the points being mentioned earlier, especially Raihan's part about that open-minded people are really easy to talk to because they're really open to what the other person has to say, especially in the context of a discussion. A discussion, when you're discussing with an open-minded person and you're open-minded yourself, you both are not set out to attack each other. You're both open to each other's ideas, and you actually take the time to listen, which I think is very, very important. And this actually reminds me of something my English teacher has said. Actually, he's not really an English teacher because he's more like a therapist. He teaches more about life lessons more than anything. And it reminds me of something that he always says before the students enter class. He always tells us to leave our arrogance at the door before we enter. He'd always tell us to leave our ego behind and keep our cups half filled or empty, but never full. And keeping our cups empty, in that case, the cup basically it represents our mind, and having a full cup means that there is nothing that can be poured onto it. Because if you pour anything into a full cup, it would just spill right out, right? So we shouldn't fill our minds with, before coming into a discussion, we shouldn't fill it with preconceived ideas or biases. We should leave space. We should leave our cup some space for wisdom so that we can actually gain something from a discussion. And I think that's the best thing to do, keeping our cups half filled during discussions. If we keep our cups half filled, that way we'd always have something to pour onto other people's cups. In other words, we can share our thoughts and our wisdom with others, while also leaving some space to take in wisdom from others as well. And we should also be careful not to go too extreme, because we shouldn't be so open-minded that our brains just fall out of our heads. We shouldn't go to that level of extreme, because then we'd just be mindless chickens, right? So we should really be open to what we hear. We should be curious and critical about the things that we hear. We shouldn't just readily accept whatever sounds nice or something. We should really pay attention to what the other person has to say, and also share our own thoughts and base our values on what we have learned previously, as well as what they have to say. And I think this is the best way to have an effective communication or discussion between people. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Raghu, for your excellent points. I felt not only your points, but also your philosophical points, your philosophy as well. Yeah, I felt like you continued an extension of your English teacher. Whoever he is, I want to meet him someday. But then, okay, next we'd like Mr. Sinan Fatin to say something. Do you also have an English teacher that says something like these things?
Well, I had the same teacher, but not anymore. And I don't really remember what he really says, to be honest. Anyways, when you're not open-minded, you're most of the time you're stubborn to other people's ideas and other people's decisions. Wait, when you're in a team and you're not open-minded, this non-open-mindedness can disturb you, and this this stubbornness, it can also fail the whole team. This stubbornness can remove your ability, or possibly even worsen your ability of communication between people and understanding different points of views, etc. Having an open mind, it's very important in many different scenarios, and we shouldn't be too much open-minded, just like what Raghib said. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Mr. Sinan Fatin, for sharing your thoughts. And Mr. Abdullah Tahfim, do you think we should keep our arrogance at the door and keep our cups half filled, so that we could fill the other half with the knowledge the others we could gain it from? What do you think, Mr. Abdullah Tahfim?
Yes, so far from everybody, I have to agree with all of you guys. Whatever you said, you guys have made excellent points. Now, before I talk about the importance of open-mindedness, I'm gonna tell you what happens when you are not open-minded. So, when you're not open-minded, the one thing that is very peculiar about you is that you become stubborn, and it leads to narrow-mindedness. And narrow-mindedness, in my opinion, is one of the worst traits that you can have. It destroys your relationship with your family members or your friends. It hampers your mental growth as a social well-being, as we know that we humans, we are very social persons, and it makes you antisocial to an extent. And also it's very, I think it makes you very hostile towards others. Now, this is why we need importance of open-mindedness. Can you excuse me for a minute? Yes, I am very sorry for a minor inconvenience. Now, as I was saying, the importance of open-mindedness is because it improves your communication, and it also makes the environment very friendly. Because It is the open-mindedness that keeps the conversation going, and without open-mindedness, we cannot continue a good conversation. If you see every debate or if you see every talk show, anything about anything regarding political, social, economic, it always matters one thing, that is the ability to accept others' opinion, right? And also, one more thing which is very important that I would like to throw some light on is what happens when you're open-minded. So what you're doing by being open-minded is you're making a free platform for others that would feel uncomfortable to speak, right? So when you're becoming open-minded, you are making sure that everybody has expressed their opinions fully, which is very important. In order to understand a discussion of something, you need to make sure that everybody has expressed their views and opinions. And what you're actually doing is uh, you are facilitating everybody's freedom of speech. And these are some of the points that I would like to make, because I think every other points are said by everybody else. So yes, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Abdullah Tahfim, for your points. Everybody has said everything so sensible that I feel like I'm learning a lot from you all. Um, all right. So then, after anybody else who did not speak, Miss Radia Khan, what do you think of this being open-minded or being an animal and start fighting? Which side are you on? What do you think?
The thing is that I just joined now, so I actually don't know like what y'all are talking about. I just joined, and like, what's the topic again?
Being open-minded in a discussion.
Okay, so like, if you're open-minded in discussion, like, the thing is that if someone makes a mistake, you can like kindly suggest that their mistake is like this is their mistake, and it kind of can correct them kindly, not like hurting them in any way. And like being open-minded can like help you gain more knowledge, and that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Miss Radia Khan. Anybody else would like to speak on this topic? Anybody else? No? All right. So, what do I think on this topic is being open-minded is really a very important thing, because not only in a discussion, but everywhere you need to be open-minded, even as parents, as students. You have to understand each other, mutual understanding. Otherwise, there will be that will hamper the relationships and everything. So what this is what I gained from you guys. You have all spoke on this, and now we would like to move on to the question and answer session, if I'm not wrong. So anybody has questions on anything anybody said or whatever happened in this meeting? Anybody would like to question? You guys can question and answer. Questions, guys? Any questions? You guys are so peaceful. No questions, no objections, nothing on anything.
Because we're too much open-minded.
You made a good point. You guys are too open-minded. Any question? Any queries? Any arguments? Counter arguments? Nothing. Nothing. All right. Somebody has a question. Miss Saria, would you like to, what is your question and to whom? Oh, many raised their hands. All right.
I
Miss
can
Saria.
see you. Okay, so my question is for Ragib. But if anyone else would want to answer, they are open to answer this question. So my question is, what would be the issue if, as he said that wait, what was it again? Yeah, he said that we cannot walk around being mindless chickens. So my question is, what would happen if you were too much of a mindful chicken?
Mindful chicken. All right, Mr. Ragib or anybody else.
Too much of a mindful chicken. So you mean like someone who overthinks everything, someone who's very critical about every single thing they hear?
Yeah, yes, exactly.
Well, I think that's also, well, the mindless chicken part was one of the extremes of open-mindedness, and I think being mindful chickens is the other extreme of it. If you're critical about everything you hear, I think you judge everything and you nitpick on small details, and you're basically just being an unlikable person. You can't be critical about everything, and yeah, it's a problem, I think.
And also, you should know that anybody can make mistakes. So if you catch on to every little details and you nitpick everything, it makes you a very unlikable person. And if this continues over time, then I think people will generally assume that you have OCD or something, as you crave for little perfections everywhere. You know that.
While
So
not
yeah.
being perfect yourself, like
Yeah,
that, like
yeah.
those things. Yeah.
That's the main point. That you nitpick on everything being perfect while you yourself is not perfect. So that's really hypocritical in my opinion. So yeah, that answers your questions, I hope.
Okay, thank you guys.
Yeah, what I learned is you shouldn't be a mindless chicken as well as a mindful chicken. So, Miss Rapunzel Areen Yana, your question.
Okay, so I have a question for all of you. So in the second question over there, if you're like too open-minded, like, and if you don't stop until the age comes in your job, like what will happen to your job? Like what will happen to your job? Anyone can answer this. Thank you.
Does it include me as well?
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else would like to answer? I think I would go last.
Could you please repeat your question one more time?
Okay, it's for the second one. So like if you're too open-minded and like you keep on repeating it and like the age comes for your job, what will affect your job? Like how will it affect it?
I couldn't understand the question. You mean like, um, if you're too open-minded and you agree on everything, even
No,
though
like
you don't like something, and then you agree to it, what would happen and how would it affect your job life? Anything like
yeah,
that?
like how would it affect your job and your like colleagues and stuff?
Well, I think then people are gonna think that you don't have a rigid backbone. You're too nice. You know, there is difference between accepting people's opinion and also being too nice. So a nice person is basically somebody who agrees on everything, but then is very afraid to stand at his own point of view. So I think that is very required. So if you lack that, then you're gonna have a tough time because people will start thinking that you don't have a rigid backbone, and then you won't be taken seriously. So also that might affect your job life and might give you less of a chance than the people who strongly stand with their opinion. So that's what happens when you're too much open-minded without standing at your own ground. You know what I mean?
Yep, thank you for
You're welcome.
explaining.
And can I add something?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay, so basically, as Abdullah Tahfim was saying, if you're too open-minded, people will think you're too nice, like a people pleaser. They're gonna think you're a people pleaser. And if you accept everyone's opinions, even if you don't really agree with it, you kind of are a people pleaser. What I would recommend you to do instead is that you explain, you understand their opinion, but if you find like an issue with it, or you're kind of not sure about it, you explain to them why, and yeah, then they can give you an answer based on your question, and then maybe you guys can understand each other's opinions. And the effect that this can have on you in the when in the professional area, in the when you're gonna get a job, if you're too open-minded, you will not be able to defend your opinion. This is an issue with that. You're not going to be able to defend your opinion, and you're easily going to accept other people's opinions. It's a good thing to accept others' opinions, but you also have to stand by your own opinion. Yeah, that's basically it.
I would like to thank you, Miss Saria. I think that answers your question. I would like to add on to that. Uh, Thing is, you have to show your open-mindedness, but then to an extent, if it is a colleague, because you have to be with him. Sometimes you may go out with him because he's your friend. If you're too open-minded, then they will think that you're just a tube light who's just there as an NPC, non-playable character, just an NPC just existing. He's like a wall. Whatever you say, it just reflects back because you're just open-minded. Too much open-minded means there's nothing in your mind, right? It's just open.
I would like to add one more point though, which you guys didn't mention. That is, if you're too much open-minded, as like I've observed during the last years of my life, is that if you're too much open-minded, people take advantage of you very much, because you can say no to anything. So, people take advantage of you, and it can be it can be from normal to very bad. So, the sooner you realize, the better. So, yeah.
All right, thank you. May I continue what I was gonna say?
Yeah.
All right. Uh, so I was like, so if you're too much of an open-minded, then I don't think there is anything inside your mind. That's also a problem. But in front of the boss, it depends upon how your boss is. If he's too much of a narcissist, then you have to be too much open-minded as well. Because then whatever you say, if even if it is right, he doesn't like it, then he's gonna find a reason to fire you. That's what I think. They will think that you are your own boss. Why I'm the boss? There will be like kind of an ego problem. But if your boss is a good, responsible, and a good moral human being, then you have to always keep your own weight. Because as Miss Saria said, that if you are too much open-minded, then you won't have your own points and you won't defend your own points because you'll just keep on accepting it whether it is wrong or right. So that's what I mostly agree on. I have agreed with Ms. Sariam almost on all the things she said today. So yeah, that's what I'd like to add. I see that you have raised your hand. Would you like to say or add or anything or question?
Yeah, I checked the chat, and Engineer Kaja has asked a question. He said that sticking to your own opinion and being open-minded at the same time does not actually make any sense. So can I answer that?
Yeah, you can, obviously, of course.
Okay, so basically, I think it makes sense because being open-minded does not mean changing your opinion because of other people. It just means understanding other people's opinions. So what you can stick to your own opinion and understand other people's opinions also. It doesn't mean that open-mindedness doesn't mean that I have an opinion, but I listened to everyone else's opinion and now my opinion has changed. This does happen sometimes, but sometimes it doesn't. So yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah, I think he corrected by saying hollow-minded. So I think you're also right. So I think you both agree on that point now. All right, Mr. Ragib, did you raise your hand by mistake or was that intentional? Would you
Oh
like
no,
to?
I was going to add on serious point, but then I saw Mr. Khaja's correction.
Can add on to that point, anyways, though. So
Okay. So I think it does make sense that sticking, you can, if you stick to your own opinion and you're open-minded, that basically means that the stance that you take, you very strongly believe it, but you're also open to any person who would like to give you feedback or an alternate view of that matter. And that's what being open-minded means. And if you're stuck to your opinion, like a stubborn person, and you don't change no matter what other people say, then you're not really being open-minded, are you? So if you're sticking to your own opinion and you're being open-minded, that means you're open to other people giving new ideas, sharing their thoughts, and that you're open to change as well. But you're sticking because there's no other idea that satisfies your wants, basically. That's all I have to say.
yeah, thank you, Mr. Ragib. And I see that you have made an excellent point as well. So any more questions or answers? Because this is usually the most exciting part of the session, because you counter argue and argue as well. Even if you do not have a question, could you make one up and then just ask? Is it like that? Anybody else would like to say something? No? All right. All right, Miss Saria.
So my question is for anyone. My question is, what if you've done so much work to lead your team to success, and then you don't achieve your goal and you see your teammates being upset? What would you do if you were a leader or a teammate? Can anyone answer?
Miss Rapunzel Arin.
So, in my opinion, I would probably go to them and like first make them happy, you know, in a good mood, basically, and then tell them it's okay. It's just like, example, you're playing something and we're just playing like a team, and like we lose, and I could just say it's just a game. Like today I went to academy, and like we lost the game, so I basically just said to my team that it's just a game, we can try again. That's all I want to say. Thank you.
All right. I think that will conclude our session. It was an excellent session. I think I would like the seniors to take on from here. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam. Excellent discussion, and both topics are very important, irrelevant to the age group and irrelevant to the nationality, everything. Now I'll invite Khajabai to deliver a very short speech. Then I'll go for Rafiq Bhai, and at last Muazzim Bhai will declare today's best speaker. Engineer Khajabai, are you here?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. I mean, I'm speechless, basically. I mean, this is another forum, another night, you know, of so many things coming around, and listening to these young leaders. It reminds us of so many things in the recent past. Donald Trump is another one coming up through this discussion, although you didn't mention his name, but his acts were very much into the discussion. If you talk about the open-mindedness and how open-minded he was, and Donald Trump, what is his the consequence today in the present world. And also people are talking about his coming back to the presidency once again. You know, there are so many uncertainties all around the world, talking about war and peace. I mean, this is something I'd really love to continue hearing you over and over again on these two topics. And I think we have brilliant speakers also, as usual in like in other sessions. My one simple request to the organizer will be, you know, because it is a Bangladeshi forum, and you all are Bangladeshis. Um, then can you put up topics and open up discussion on those areas about the future of this Bangladesh, this country that is moving ahead with so much challenges, and people are also getting fed up with so many things around. Nothing is happening according to your own dream, and you like to see your country in a certain manner, but it is not moving in that manner. You are talking about the open-mindedness and also the mindful chicken or mindless chicken. I mean, I know you're KFC lovers. All around these chickens are flying, but the people talking about these empty-headed people around us, and those who are actually leading us. So many empty-headed people are leading us in the society, and you have nothing to say about that. You just ignore, just keep on going and ignore. It is another well, you're talking about a hypocrisy. Yeah, it's a hypocrisy all around. Plenty. You talk a stubbornness. Look at the result of this stubbornness in Bangladesh today. If you are not stubborn before 7 January, now after 7 January, you get a clear result of that stubbornness. Then what this stubbornness can produce to the whole nation. This is one example, clear example we have in front of us. Now, what my suggestion is, to make it short, you future leaders of Bangladesh, I'm sure not only in Bangladesh, in worldwide, according to you, like in your own analysis, how do you want to see your country moving ahead? At present, what is the present condition? Are you happy with the present condition? If you are, then most welcome to say, yes, of course, I'm happy because of these reasons. And if you are not, then please say also why you are not and what you are suggesting from your point of view, your young prospective future leadership angle. What is that telling us, the old people leaving this world in a few years' time? We may not be able to see many of these things coming up, what you think right now, but we would like to listen to your judgments and your fairy tales, if I put it in that way. What is that fairy tale future of Bangladesh that you like to see? And then you go on debating on that. I think there will be wonderful stuff coming up for this group and also for others everywhere in the world to listen to you and to just sit back and think over it. Is it true or it is not true? Am I really living in fool's world, or I'm really living in somewhere where people are making sense, they are talking sense? Okay. I think red salute to all of you. Wonderful participation today.
Okay, thank you very much, Engineer Khajabai. Khajabai, can you declare your best speaker in the WhatsApp? We are waiting for you. Khajabai.
Doing it right away.
Okay. And now, Engineer Rafiq Bhai, you are invited to deliver your short speech.
Okay, thank you very much. Actually, today I have enjoyed the debate. Actually, today's debate is almost one of the best debate I enjoyed, and I have come across. Actually, they are the future leader. In future, they will lead the country. Not only the country, they will lead the whole world. Now we are the actually citizen of global village, so we are not limited to a particular country. We are spread all over the world. Okay, today actually some points I noted down. Actually, very much interesting. The points, strong points. Mainly, I got it from the Mona Lisa. Her name is Mona Lisa, right? I'm very impressed when.
My mom's
Sorry?
name is actually Mona Lisa. My name is actually Saria.
Sharia, okay. I see your name is Mona Lisa. Okay, thank you, Sharia. Okay, very good point. Actually, in the point of leadership, he mentioned everyone should be valued and respected, and feedback and criticism has to be one of the points he raised. A leader should acknowledge feedback and criticism, inspiring rules and develop plan. All the actually Good points. It is catch up the points, the pivoting points she mentioned. Okay, and in respect of openness, also very good points they raised from all the debaters from all sides, senior and junior. Really today I am confused who will be the almost a few debaters are very close. It is very difficult to decide from our side. So today's debate is a very much interesting and competitive and enjoyable. Okay. I hope this sort of efforts and this sort of debates will continue in the days to come, and we'll be enjoying and we'll learn from such debates in future, and it will finally help and add value to our future life and our professional life also. And with these few words, I would like to conclude here. And finally, thanks and congratulations to all the participants. All the best. Good night.
Okay, thank you very much, Engineer Rafiq Bhai, your valuable speech. Now I will invite Engineer Moazzam Bhai to deliver his speech and declare the best speakers today.
Really, today I enjoyed a lot, like other all the seniors, and we love this type of session, and we enjoyed the session, and we learned something else. I'm talking about this one, but only one thing, because of the all our youngster, I will advise 2-3 things. If you have time, it is permitting. Let us be consistent with the statement we know from the beginning that do not promise anything once you are in emotional stage. When you are in emotional situation, say you become the first winner in any of the games, don't promise anything when you are in emotional stage. Second statement is like this: do not take any decision when you are angry. When you're very angry, don't take any decisions. These 2 lessons from you, all the youngsters. It is very proven and very effective statement, these 2 statements. And one more thing, as we discussed today, the business-oriented, all the discussion. First of all, I will say one thing, because all the points highlighted, it is very good points you already highlighted. I want to add some points only there. To things like goal, how to achieve the goal. Everybody we are talking the way, how we want to go, because based on our long managerial life, we passed here in this country. I am working in this country last 32 years plus. And during my managerial job, when I perform this job, I noticed something based on my practical experience. We are giving some idea. I'm giving some idea. First of all, respecting all the members, even he is wrong. If he assigns some job, he did wrong and it is not the correct, but still you have to respect and praise him and to explain him in different way. When he is alone, they explain him the different way to motivate and to encourage him and say, yes, this thing is very right, what he wrote, and with this perspective, we want to make this way, the way how to explain them. Otherwise, he will be totally demotivated and demoralized and you will not get anything. Now we are getting something negative, but in future also you will not get any negative also from the. That means no response. This is the one thing. Second thing is like this, like company, what's the wants actually? How to develop the company. We are always sometimes hearing or sometimes reading and sometimes the talk show, we are talking about the branding. What do the branding and what do you mean by your company? The meeting the customer demand, customer requirement. That's been the main target to achieve or to stand any company in the level 1, 2, 3, 4. Quality and meet the customer requirement. Why we are using the word to customize the product means what? That's why we have to make something. What's the customer demand? What's customer wants? If your company can meet this one, that's supposed to be the best of all, the best of all, that will be the things that you meet the customer demand, you meet the customer requirements. That will be your best company. And this one kind of branding, the customer will brand you. You know, you should not be like branded your company like this way. Customer will brand you. Yes, there is a quality product, and based on our requirement, they are delivering and they are producing the same thing. The keep in mind is all these things. However, I feel like accommodate their part, as I tell, open-minded. Open-minded is simple definition. What do you mean by open-minded? The definition of this open-minded is accommodative mind with logic. The accommodated mind with logic. You can accommodate everything, but with logic. It's supposed to be logical. Then that is the definition of the open-minded. So keep in mind, and then more and more you will learn in future, and then you will understand the practicality, what is the things is really is open-minded. Someone pointed out the very nice point that if you are like always open-minded, that is, it is like it seems you are accommodating everything, means everybody can get this illegal opportunity or some benefit from your open mind space. That should be keep in mind. That is also a very good point. However, today we are very much happy. We are happy to say you. Today we have the two categories. One of the senior groups, another was junior groups. From junior groups, the panelists, everybody today appreciate all. I'm telling you all, they appreciate all. But because of the ranking, we are saying number only, 1, 2, 3, 4. But actually, you are all the best. The speaker best, leader also the best. So all are the best. But for the ranking, that's only for the marking, we are saying Raghib is the senior group and Mona Lisa from the junior groups. That is the panelist supporting, just pointing only, the marking, the number, but all are the best. We appreciate for all the participants and all your contribution. Thank you very much. This is my part, I am telling you, and we are very much happy. We learned a lot from you. Very, very nice presentation and very nice debate. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Engineer Majum Bhai, and thank you very much to Abdullah Tahfim for your excellent moderation. And thank you very much and congratulations to Raghib and Saria to be best speaker. Okay, I just today both topics are very important in the whole life, actually whole life. I just want to tell about the Socrates. Today what we did for the question and answer session, this is basically, we call it Socratic method. Socratic method is question and answer to gain the knowledge through question and answer. So Socrates, he thought about the open-mindedness, the thinking process of human mind. But he divided three categories of mind of human being. One category is the great mind of people who are thinking about the new ideas. They are categories as a great minds. Second category is the average mind. Average mind people, they are thinking about the event, like sports, like economy, like politics, everything. Third category is the poor mind of people who are thinking about only the poor people, only criticizing people, criticizing and gossiping about the people. So I'm sure that our new generation will be the category number 1. They will be the great mind of people. Okay, and hoping for the best. We'll see you after 2 weeks. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz. Good night.
Sorry.